my childhood, let's say. They both like Bruce, and indeed, my mom was the person that introduced me to Bruce. I wasn't a child, I was a teenager at the time.
Okay.
I was 14 years old, and we were both at home. We were in our living room, and she just went to me and said, "Hey, I know that you listen to rock music. I know that you started listening to some artists, Rolling Stones. You talked to me about them. What about Bruce Springsteen?" And
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I'm not really into his music. I don't really know him that much. I just know a couple of songs. Born in the USA, I'm Going Down. Those were the songs that I knew at the
Okay.
time." And she went, "Well, sit close to me. I'm gonna show you something." And this song was The River, live in Tempe, Arizona,
Yeah.
in 90 Prom, the River Tour in 1980. Well, that was, I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but but yeah, I from that moment on, I just got into his music.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Set Lusting Bruce, your podcast all about Bruce Springsteen, his music, and mostly his fans. I am your host, Jesse Jackson, and we are doing a timey-wimey episode. It's my morning, it's my guest afternoon, all the way from Italy is Giulia. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you. How are you,
Yeah,
Jess?
I am
Jesse?
doing great. I'm so excited to visit with you. I love following you on Twitter. And so
Oh, thank you.
that was so kind of
Thank
you to
you.
want to visit with me. So tell us a little about yourself.
So, as you said, my name is Giulia. I'm 21 years old and I live in northern Italy. And I am a Bruce Springsteen fan, a young Bruce Springsteen fan, and a law student. Yeah, I'm currently in the third year of my degree.
Where are you going to school and what do you study?
I'm a law student,
Okay.
an international law student in in a college in northern Italy.
Okay.
And as I said, I'm at my third out of 5 years.
Okay. Why law? Why did you decide you wanted to do that?
Well, I like the, let's say that I like the the courses
Okay.
that were offered in my college. And I'm pretty interested in politics
Okay.
and what's going on in my country,
Yeah.
and as well as what's going on in your country,
Yeah.
and in several countries in Europe. So, it's more because I'm really, into politics and stuff like that, you
Oh,
know.
good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't get into too much politics, but
Mhm.
a lot of scary things going on.
Yeah. In my country, it's uh, would say pretty disappointing, honestly, at least for me. Um, but as you may think, I also know lots of people who are, happy for the situation we are in. But just different point of views, different point of views. Personally, I'm not happy, and I'm a little bit afraid. But mm, I prefer not to get too much, into politics
Sure,
and stuff.
absolutely. No, no, no. That's why I said I promise you not. I just wanted to let you know that yeah, I have the same fears for you, for not just for your country in Europe, but in the US. And it's a scary time. And I think one of the things we can do is, support our beliefs and listen to good music to try to keep our spirits up. Let's get on to happier subjects. Talk to me about growing up. What kind of music did you and your family listen to when you were little?
Well, both my parents, my mom and my dad, listened to rock music, even though, let's say that my dad wanted me and my brother to have like one of our Italian music backgrounds. So he used to make us listen to many Italian songwriters. I won't name none of them because I don't think that you will know them.
Okay.
But whereas my mother is, she grew up in the 70s and in the 80s, so she loves rock music. And when I was younger, and especially during long trips in our car, she used to put some songs by Bob Dylan, the U2, Pink Floyd, lots of Pink Floyd, Dire Straits, and lots of Leonard Cohen. You know, when I was a child, songs like Sister of Mercy, So Long Marianne, all those songs were part of my, the soundtrack of my childhood, let's say. They both like Bruce, and indeed, my mom was the person that introduced me to Bruce. I wasn't a child, I was a teenager at the time.
Okay.
I was 14 years old, and we were both at home. We were in our living room, and she just went to me and said, "Hey, I know that you listen to rock music. I know that you started listening to some artists, Rolling Stones. You talked to me about them. What about Bruce Springsteen?" And I said, "I'm not really into his music. I don't really know him that much. I just know a couple of songs. Born in the USA, I'm Going Down. Those were the songs that I knew at the time." And she went, "Well, sit close to me. I'm gonna show you something." And this song was The River, live in Tempe, Arizona,
Yeah.
in 90 Prom, the River Tour in 1980. And well, that was, I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but yeah, I from that moment on, I just got into his music, and I started listening to him more, watching his videos on YouTube, and well, now I'm here. So
Yeah.
this is how
So
it began. Yeah.
can you articulate what about his music spoke to you? Like obviously you had heard a few little songs, and your mom's like, "Here, plays the river," and does a couple other things. What about
Mhm.
it spoke to you, Julia?
Well, I would say that his songwriting spoke to me the most, because okay, uh, as you know, I'm not a native English speaker. I'm Italian, and English is not my mother tongue.
Right.
But when I watched the clip of him playing the river, I just, followed the old story, even though I had no clue about what he was talking about, who were the people involved, and which were the references of the song, and his background, of course. And I just listened to the old story, and I thought, damn, this is incredible. This is mind blowing. And another thing that I really, that left me astonished was the passion that he puts while performing. And that's another great, great aspect about him. Um, there are a few seconds from the clip of the river, in which, I mean, you could see like he's really into his song, into the song. I don't know how to explain this. It's like it's putting all this effort, all the passion that he has to sing it,
Right.
and I just love that. I definitely love that, and I think it's something that he does, of course, for every song in every concert. It's not just it wasn't just something that had to deal with that particular song, because some months, I think it was some weeks or months later, I listened to the cover that he made of "You Never Can Tell" by Chuck Berry, and
Yes.
that was my very first Bruce Springsteen cover that I listened to. And another thing that really astonished me was the fun that he had while playing the song. He said it was improvised, and he seemed, he and the old bandmates, the old history band, seemed like they were having fun, like just like children at the playground. I don't know how to explain this. It was so great to see, and so fun to watch, honestly.
No, I think that's a perfect way to talk about it. Children on a playground. My good friend Sam says this, and I've used it multiple times. For the longest time, Walt Disney World, would say the happiest place on earth, Disneyland, Walt Disney World. And Sam would say, with all apologies to Disney, the happiest place on world is a Bruce Springsteen concert. And I think the audience is having fun, the band is having fun. And I especially think, at least I felt like during the last tour, the River Tour, we had lost so many great musicians. We had lost David Bowie, we had lost Glenn Fry,
Prince.
we had lost Prince, absolutely. And there was a feeling like, we aren't guaranteed we're going to get to do this too many more times. So let's enjoy every moment of every show. And I think it shows, and the audience embraced it.
And by the way,
Yes.
may I ask you something?
Sure.
How many concerts did you attend?
Of total or for the River?
No, total.
So I'm at 17, and that's a great question because I was about to ask you the same thing. But before I do, I always like to qualify this, that the number of shows you've seen is not a fair barometer of how big a fan you are. There are people, because of their age or their economic situation or where they're located, may have seen him none, or 3, or maybe there's others that have seen, that have because they live in New York and they're older, have they lived, so they have seen hundreds. So yeah, I'm at 16. I always get confused, 16 or 17. I'm at 16, including Broadway. So how about you?
Well, I'm at 0.
Okay.
No, well, to be honest, I discovered him at the age of 14. So when he started touring in 2016, I couldn't manage to go because, let's say that I was starting to get into his music, and my parents wouldn't, bring me to one of his concerts, since I wasn't really I would say I wasn't really addicted like I am right now.
Right.
So but right now I've never been to one of his concerts, but next year I will. I will attend 2 of his concerts in Ferrara and in Rome, which are 2 of the 3 Italian dates. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he will perform, what he will keep for us Italians and non-Italians, But anyway, even though I've never performed, he has never performed. I've never attended one of his concerts. He went to my region, to the region in which I was born, and that's pretty, let's say, pretty impressive, because my region is really small. It's northern Italy and it's really small, and my hometown is quite small too. So he performed in my region for 3 times, and in my hometown in 2009.
Okay.
And my parents wanted to go, my mother wanted to go, but she couldn't, because of, let's say, because of me and my brother, who
Sure.
were both children. So she couldn't manage to bring us with her, of course. And fun fact, it's really really an interesting fact. In my hometown, there's a place, there's an hotel which he stayed, which is in the city center,
Okay.
and I always walk in front of it every single time I am in my hometown, because I live pretty close to the city center.
Okay.
So every single time I walk past, I pass it, and I think Bruce, Clarence, because Clarence was still alive when he
Sure.
performed in my hometown, and all the other bandmates, apart from Danny Federici, who of course wasn't there anymore, were there, stayed there, and like a 20 or 25-minute walk from my house, which is, to be honest, it's pretty unbelievable to think, you
Sure.
know. And so yeah, but I'm really looking forward to seeing him next year. I'm truly looking forward to seeing him.
Is your mom going with you?
Yeah, well, I will send the concert in Ferrara with my mom and with a family friend and his daughter. So we're going as a little group. And
Nice.
whereas, yeah, it's really nice. Whereas, in Rome, I will stay with my friend, with a friend from college. He's
Hmm.
a little bit older than me, and but he loves him. He has attended one of his concerts before, I think in 2012, and even in 2009 when he performed in my hometown. So yeah, I mean, I will go there with those two people, and I'm really happy that I will be with them. Especially with my mom. Let's say
That's, yeah.
there's there's a sort of mother-daughter affair. I don't know how to
No.
explain this. It's a family affair, so it's really nice.
Well, yeah, because she's the one who, pulled you aside and said, look, all this other music you're listening to is fine, but we need to get you on the Bruce train. So I think that's lovely. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Is there songs well, first off, let's talk about what do you think? What was your thoughts about Letter to You, Western Stars, and the
Hmm.
couple of new songs we've gotten?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with Letter to You,
Sure.
because the day when it was released almost 2 years ago, which is incredible to think.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. I agree.
yeah, it was released in late October of 2020, and let's say that, well, my country, as well as yours, as well as any other country in the world, was in the middle of the pandemic. So music, for me, as well as for many other people, let's say, was not just a hobby, but it really helped me to you know mm, let the the time pass, and Bruce music helped a lot. So when I knew that he was releasing an album, I was really excited, and the day it was released, I had class, I had Zoom class, at college. So as soon as class finished, I ran outside, went to my local music shop, bought the record, played from start to finish. And okay, it may seem a little bit childish, but I was in tears at the end because it was so good. I thought it cannot be that good. And my favorite songs from the record are Song for Orphans, because, because of its lyrics, which remind me of another one of my favorite artists, with Bob Dylan. It's pretty Dylan-esque. I don't know
Yeah.
if you agree with me, but
No, it is. I agree.
and The Power of a Prayer,
Mm-hmm.
Letter to You, and especially Ghosts. And for Ghosts, I have a little story. Um, you know, when the record was released, I listened to it from start to finish, as I said before, and then I made my mother listen to it from start to finish. And the song that, of course, she loves the most is Ghost. And for months, I swear, from 4 months, every Saturday morning, she just walked into the kitchen and said to me, "Put Ghosts, because it's Saturday morning, it's weekend, and we have to celebrate with Bruce." So this was like this soundtrack by Saturday mornings for many months, almost years, I think.
I
So
love that
yeah,
story so
yeah.
much. I think that is great. What I tell everyone is because of the pandemic,
Mhm,
because, and once again, we're just going to touch a little bit on the politics, because of the administration that was running the country at the time,
mhm,
and all the anger and the violence and the things going wrong in the US, to see Bruce and the E Street Band deliver an album, and not just
mhm,
any album, a great album, an album that has so many wonderful songs. And then we get the film, where
mhm.
they show
Yeah,
that. And then all that he did, so much press for that album and so many good interviews. It just truly will always have a special place in my heart because of the context of it.
yeah.
Standalone, it's a great album, but when you throw in that context of everything that's going on, it's just something pretty special. So I agree with you, Julia, right? I
I
totally agree.
I I have a question for you as
Sure.
well. Since you said that it has a special place in your heart because of the context we were living
Yeah.
in, since you are American,
Yeah.
um, would I don't think you would say yes, but would you put Letter to You on the same place as The Rising in terms of, you know, the impact that he had in, I don't know, in maybe both in your life, I wouldn't say in the society, because of course
Yeah.
The Rising, maybe it has a much bigger impact for you Americans, because of the old story that is behind the record and what happened in for 9/11, of course. But for you, what do you think uh, is the one that you feel closer to you? Which record is closer to you?
So that's a really tough discussion, and it's a great question, and thank you. I love, so just to give a little background, I was a casual Springsteen fan, and if you listen to all the episodes, you want to skip ahead for 2 or 3 minutes, do listeners. But so I was a casual fan,
Mm-hmm.
never seen him live,
Mm-hmm.
but bought, Born to Run. I bought, you know, the River, and Born in the USA and Tunnel of Love and the box set, but I wasn't listening, like all the time. I was just, he was an artist that I liked,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't love. And then
Mm-hmm.
9/11 happened, and then they had the fundraiser, and it opened with him singing My City of Ruins, right, with the choir, with
Mm-hmm.
all the members, with a lot of members of the band. And I had never heard anything like that. And
Yeah.
then I went to my first Bruce show, was a Rising tour. It was in December. It was in Dallas, 2002. It was the first time I'd seen him live.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then to throw in else, 10 years after 9/11, my father died on 9/11,
Mm-hmm.
2011.
Uh-huh.
So there's so much emotion tied up into that CD. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I never get tired of Waiting on a Sunny Day. I know a lot of people roll their eyes, and And you're like, oh, I can't believe he puts the kids on stage and everything, but I love that song. The
Oh,
only song that I've heard on every show, all 16 shows, is The Rising. That's the only song that I've heard at each concert. So
oh,
I have the same sentimental feeling about The Rising
hmm
as I do Letter to You, that there it came, the music came to me when I needed it. And I
hmm
think Bruce does that sometimes, and not just Bruce, other artists, whether it's
yeah,
Taylor Swift or Bob Dylan or Pearl Jam or whatever it is, the band. Sometimes they come to you with music when you're needing it, and there's a perfect fit. So it would be hard for me to pick which two. If I had
hmm
to pick, I'd pick The Rising slightly because of the
hmm
nostalgia of that was my first show.
yeah.
Um, but it would be pretty close. How about you? How do you, because I think the world was affected by the pandemic, absolutely, but also the
hmm
world was affected by 9/11 in a lot of ways. So how about you,
Yeah.
Julia? What are your thoughts on The Rising and
Well,
your mixture of that?
I I want to say first of all, 9/11 happened indeed on the 11th of September. I was born on the 7th of October 2001, so I wasn't alive.
Okay, so
I
yeah.
I wasn't alive. I mean, I was there, but I wasn't physically
Yes,
there.
yes, I
So,
understand. Yes, that is
uh, so of course, I mean, I cannot say what really meant to me in mm, compared to, of course, the historical background that the world was living in,
right.
But I can say that now, listening back to it to that record, honestly, I would put it into my top five.
Yeah.
It's definitely my top five. Uh, I wouldn't say, of course, it's not better than Born to Run. It's not better than Darkness on the Edge of Town. These two are my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and honestly, I think it's not better than The Wild, the Innocent, and the Street Shuffle, which
Sure.
is another one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I would put it on the fourth place. On fourth place, mostly because of one song, which is My City of Ruins. My City of Ruins is probably one of my favorites from the record.
Okay.
And I remember that I saw some time ago a clip on YouTube of him playing. I think it was at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey
Yeah.
back in 2016. And there was an Italian fan in the audience, and he brought a sign, and he asked Bruce to play My City of Ruins. And in that time, I remember that, in the, I don't know if you remember it, I do, of course, because it was a shocking event. But in August 2016, there has been an earthquake in the center of Italy, in some regions. I wouldn't say, I don't want to name the regions, but they are pretty, let's say they are close to Rome. They're not that
Okay.
far away from Rome and from its region. And mostly the places are like Amatrice and Norcia, Amatrice. And it was shocking for all of us because
Yeah.
buildings got destroyed, people got killed, and you know that was really tough to think, considering that, of course, I mean, in my country there have been different earthquakes,
Mm-hmm.
famous earthquakes that we do remember, that some people here remember, in 2009 as well. But that one, like, it was shocking, and the fact that Bruce decided to play a song such as My City of Ruins and wanted to dedicate that for all those who lost their lives because of that event. Just, was, I would say it was moving. Yeah, it was touching. It was
Yeah, I
truly, truly
imagine.
touching.
Yeah.
So I saw the clip, and it was such a good performance, and it's probably, one of my favorites from the record. And but I love the Rising overall. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned how much you love. Talk to me about your favorite albums, favorite songs. What are they and what do they mean to you?
Well, my favorite album, as I said before, it may seem a little bit obvious, but it's Born to Run.
Okay.
Born to Run, and especially Thunder Road. Thunder Road is my favorite song. Even though I think that Jungle Land is the best song on the album,
Okay.
musically speaking. It's not my favorite, but I would say it's my second favorite. I would put it on the second place. First place is for Thunder Road, and both of them, maybe a little bit more Thunder Road,
Yeah.
but both of them are just they bring me to tears every single time I listen to it. I listen to them. Mostly Thunder Road, and mostly the version that he played in Barcelona in 2002, which is
Yeah.
probably my favorite concert by Bruce. But as well as Jungle Land, I remember that I saw a clip from the 2012 tour. I don't remember where it was, but I remember that he played it, and then Jake Clemens played the famous sax solo, and it was stunning. And of course, Clarence at the time just passed. It was the first tour without Clarence, so it was so moving. Maybe that's my favorite performance
Okay.
of Jungle Land. And 10th Avenue Freeze Out as well, but it has let's say a deeper meaning for me, because that's I personally dedicated that song to one of my best friends, who is like a sister to me. And with her I had the sort of friendship that Bruce and Clarence had between each other.
That's lovely.
So yeah, one of those people with whom you share both good events, great events, and bad times. So it's truly a partner in crime, and that's why that song has a really special meaning to me, because I recognize now I recognize in the lyrics, when I started listening to it when I was 14 years old. Of course, I was still young, and I thought, okay, that's cool. But I think that when you grow up and you start, getting to know different people, you start getting, really close to one person, to that particular person. I would say that, the lyrics in some way talked about me as well. So
Sure.
this is why I love it. This is why I love it. And yeah, those are my favorites. And She's the One as well. She's the One is another one of my favorites from Born to Run. I would say that my favorite version is from Live in Barcelona 2002, even though Live in Hammersmith 1975 is another great one. I love the harmonica solo at the beginning. So yeah, that's my favorite album. Then of course The River, because I've already explained you why.
Yeah.
It's because of my mom. Ghosts, again, it has, let's say, a special meaning for me as well, because of my mom.
Sure.
And The Promised Land as well. The Promised Land is one song that I listen to when I'm feeling blue, when sometimes of my life when I thought that everything was going bad, was it helped me to cheer me up a little bit. So yeah, those are my favorites.
Do you we talked about Letter to You. We didn't get into Western Stars. Thoughts on Western Stars?
Well, yeah, Western Stars came out when I was in high school, and in high school I had a teacher who was really into Bruce music. He
Okay.
was my PE teacher, and I used to discuss the some of the songs from the album with him.
Okay.
My personal favorite is Tucson Train. Um, you know, I also love the version that Stevie Van Zandt played with
Yes, I
the
love that
Disciples of
version too.
Soul.
I agree.
Yeah, and I love it. I'm not sure if everyone loves it, honestly, because it's, of course, there's a rearrangement. I mean, it sounds totally different from the original, but for me, in my opinion, it's amazing.
Yes.
I honestly would love to hear that in the new tour, but I'm not sure if he will perform that with the E Street Band. I'm not sure, but I would love to hear that, honestly.
Yeah. What do you?
And
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what do you
mhm,
think? What do you think he's going to play? Like my wife just asked, I showed her the 2 new songs, and she
mhm.
said, "Is that what we're going to get in the tour?" And I said, "I don't think." I said he may play a couple of them, but I don't. I said I still think most of the um, tour is going to be, heavy Letter to You
Mhm.
plus some other, um, a combination of other things, of just his normal, um, songs that he loves to play. What do you think?
Well, honestly, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I mean, I don't think they will play the last 2 songs they released. I don't think he will play anything from Western Stars, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he would stick to the E Street Band stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting and I'm hoping for lots and lots of songs from Ghost,
Yeah.
from Letter to You,
Yeah. Me too.
um, and especially as I said before, Song for Orphans.
Yeah.
That's that's the one that I really want to hear live, as well as The Power of a Prayer because of Roy Bittan's piano playing, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And um, I think he would. Well, considering that I'm going to Rome, I'm hoping that at that concert he will play some song from The Wild, the Innocent, and the Street Shuffle, since he
That's
already
one of
did.
that's your wish list.
Yeah, Incident is the one that I really want to hear live,
Uh-huh.
as well as Rosalita. Um, there is a version of Rosalita in that he played in San Siro in 2016, and I I don't joke when I say that I listen to it every single evening before going to bed because it helps me to have good dreams, to have
Sure.
sweet dreams. And But yeah, I think it would. I'm expecting Waiting on a Sunny Day. I think it's another song that I think he will play. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if at every show, but it will be on the set list, I think. And I don't know. I'm hoping for it since I've never attended one of his concerts.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for some of his classics. So Born to Run, of course, Thunder
Yeah.
Road, 10th Avenue, Promise, Badlands. I
Yeah.
think that for sure he will play it.
Sure.
And the Promised Land, The River. I'm hoping for Ramrod and Sherry Darling as well, but especially Ramrod
Hmm.
because I just love it so much.
Yeah.
And then maybe tougher than the rest. I have this feeling that it may play tougher than the rest.
Oh, I'd love that. That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Do you,
Yeah.
so what are your thoughts of the new, we've gotten 2 songs from his
Mhm.
covers album. What, as we're
Mhm.
recording this, what are you thinking?
Well, I think that both of them are great. I was talking about one of them, "Do I Love You," with my friend the other day, and he said that he said it's an okay song, nothing special. I said no, I don't think so. I personally don't. I personally disagree. I think it's a really good song, a really good arrangement. I listened to the original version after listening to Bruce one because honestly I didn't know the song
Okay.
before it was released and covered by Bruce. Um, and yeah, I love that one. And the last one that got released, maybe I prefer the last one though.
Okay.
I would pick that one if I had to pick one,
Sure.
So yeah, this is what I think.
Okay.
What about
So
you?
yeah, I've loved these 2 new songs. I did not care for the Seeger sessions, but I've been on record partly because he didn't sing them the way my dad sang them. Like my
Mhm.
dad would sing Froggy Went a Courtin', and Bruce did a different version, and Old Dan Tucker wasn't the way I sang it in elementary school. So
Ah,
I thought, but I was very sad that I didn't get to see that show live after the fact. When I saw the Live in Dublin CD, I went, oh my goodness,
mhm.
this looks like a blast. So yeah, I'm hoping to get a letter to you. I would be thrilled if we got Tucson Train. That's one of my
Mhm.
favorite songs on the Western Stars, and I think because Little Steven has covered it, I think that would be, if they wanted to do a song, that would be a good song for them to do from Western Stars. And my hope, and this is not a unique thought, is that instead of doing shout at the end of the episode, songs like he's been doing, that he would
Mhm.
pick a different one of these soul covers, and the bands do
Oh,
that as a rotating kind of final song, right?
yeah.
And then I hope that he does "I'll See You in My Dreams" solo to end the shows. Like, sometimes he does Thunder Road solo to end. I think it would be great to get one of these soul songs, the band rocking out, and then closing with "I'll See You in My Dreams" would be, if I had a wish, that would be my wish, I think.
Yeah, well, I personally would love to hear "Shout" as a
Uh,
closing
uh-huh.
song, but of course, because I've never attended one of these concerts, so
Yes.
this is one thing that I would love to experience. But as well as "Twist and Shout," honestly, "Twist and
Yeah.
Shout" and "La Bamba" is just you know unique cover. Not, I love the version they did in 1988
Mm-hmm.
for in Argentina, and as well he played I think in 2012 in Florence, Twist and Shout as well. It was the concert in which there was such an heavy rain, and it was so fun to watch. I watched it on YouTube. It was so fun to watch. Um, but yeah, Twist and Shout is one thing that I would love to hear, one cover that I would love to hear. Even though I think that maybe if I if I had to request a cover from Bruce, I honestly would request "Give Me Some Lovin'." I don't know if you has already played it, but I think that if the instant horns will be back, I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
honestly don't know. I'm not sure. That would be a great cover, honestly. Um, so yeah, even though that's not the song that I would request, because I will bring a signed request at one of my gigs in Rome, maybe.
Yeah, no, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I'd love that. I think that's a great choice. My I grew up on and off in Louisiana, so Jolie Blanc is my cover wish that I would love to
Mhm.
see live, just because it's a Cajun song. It My college I went to, that was our fight song, and I just love that version. So that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um, this is awesome. I have had so much fun visiting with you. What is there anything I haven't asked you that I should have, Julia?
Uh, Maybe since you sent the email to me,
Yes.
maybe my musical background when I was in high school, because
Yes.
I wasn't really, I mean, I love Bruce, but I do not only listen to Bruce, of course. Let's say that one of my friends in high school introduced me to the Rolling Stones.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of the Rolling Stones as well as Bob Dylan, because my mom, again, she's the one that introduced me to Bob Dylan, because when he won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2016, I think that she kept playing his songs from the 60s, so Blonde on
Hmm.
Blonde, um, especially Blonde on Blonde, and it's my favorite album, The Free Will
Yeah.
in Bob Dylan. Just she kept playing them over and over, and at first I couldn't stand Bob Dylan. At the end, I started falling in love with him as well. And I am, a huge fan of other bands, Pearl Jam, I love Eddie Vedder solo
Hmm.
records as well, like the latest one that he published, Earthlings. The one with Bruce, by the way, the one with the interview by Bruce. So,
Yeah.
on Amazon, I think it was. um, and well, I listen to lots of rock and roll, so The Doors, David Bowie, all those, even Chuck Berry sometimes, Oasis, Red Hot Chili Peppers, all of them, and Liam Gallagher's solo works as well.
Hmm.
I saw him live this year, and it was unbelievable. It was just so good. But I don't think it will be better than Bruce. This is what
No,
I honestly
no,
think.
probably not.
With all my respect to Liam Gallagher, with all my respect to Oasis and to their
Yeah.
careers, of course, but I don't think it will be better than Bruce, honestly.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is it.
So, that I love that, a lot of, with the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, certainly Bruce, um, you certainly are an old soul. Is there any current acts that you enjoy listening to?
Well, Red Allen Fleet. Red Allen
Hmm.
Fleet are, I think, one of my favorites. Sam Fender. Um, And then let me think about this. Well, I don't know if I have to call them like young or not, but the
Yeah.
Killers as well. I would say they are good, but I'm not sure if we can say like if we can call them new acts, because like they've been playing together for many years, I guess. I'm not
Hmm.
sure when they formed. The Killers as well. I said Liam Gallagher and his solo works, like all his recent works. Um, a little bit of Noel Gallagher as well,
Okay.
but not as much as Liam. And well, I think that's it.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah,
All right. So
I
Joy,
prefer old music.
yes, I can tell. I love that. Um, any final thoughts before we get to the Mary question?
Hmm. No, I just, as I tweeted before on my account, I'm really hoping to meet lots of people in the two concerts I will attend next year. So Honestly, I cannot wait. And by the way, one thing that really surprised me, as I said on the beginning, I'm 21 years old, and in my really, I would say, not long life, I've not met I've not met huge Bruce Springsteen fans in real life, apart from the friend with whom I will be attending the concert. Whereas on this social media platform, I met lots of youngsters, lots of my peers,
Hmm.
and all those lots of other boys and girls that actually are really into his music, and with whom I became friends, and in some occasions I also had the chance to meet them in real life, and it's so good. It has been amazing. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that I get the chance to meet those people, and I will get the chance even next year, I'm sure. So this is just a final thought, as you said.
Well, that sounds perfect. I love that. We'll have to figure out how to get you. I did um, a young Bruce roundtable where
Uh-huh.
I had three young women, all under 21, that are going to their first Bruce show this next tour. Two of them saw him on Broadway, but Kayla had not seen him. And so we had
Mhm.
a really great time. We'll have to figure out a way to get you on with those three, and
Oh, I would love to.
yeah, and have a fun discussion. Sounds great. All
Hmm.
right. Um, I have taken so much of your time on a Saturday afternoon. Thank you so much. But I end every episode with the Mary question. So
Okay.
if you are Julia's friends or families and you're listening to this, first off, she made you all proud, and you guys should give her a big hug. But I end every episode with the Mary question. So Jay
Mhm.
Armstrong, who is an honors English teacher, he recently retired in the Philadelphia area, when he was teaching, he would spend 2 days breaking apart the song Thunder Road. He would look at the lyrics, he would talk about the themes, he would talk about Bruce's imagery, and at the end of the 2 days, he would ask the question, does Mary get in the car? So Julia, that is your question. Does Mary get in the car at the end of Thunder Road?
I'd say yes. Yeah, I always imagine that in the end they just, when he said, "So Mary climbed in. It's a town full of losers, and we're pulling out here to win." There's just, mm, I just imagine both of them, the main character and Mary, to just go away in the car, and they just rock the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say yes. I'm Let's say I have this. This is my opinion. I have a, let's say, positive opinion in this sense. So yeah,
That is
I'm on for a
perfect.
happy ending.
I love that. I am all about happy endings too. All right. So if someone wants to reach you, I know you're on Twitter. Tell us your Twitter handle. And
uh,
do you have anything else to promote?
no, well, my Twitter account is Bruce Tour News, as I think you all know. And no, that's it. That's it. Just,
Okay.
I think the only way, if someone has any kind of troubles, this is one thing I tweeted in the past. But if someone has troubles or needs infos, and is he or she is attending one of the concerts in Italy and needs infos for, I don't know, something like public transportations or hotels, or what to do in Rome, since I've been to Rome. I've never been to Ferrara though.
Okay.
They just can contact me, and will give my opinions, my answers. So this is it. Yeah.
Yes. And if you are going to any of those Italy shows, the two she's attending, please reach out to her and say, hey, would love to visit with you. And You know, we want to, I think one of the things that we love, I think about one of the things that's going to be great about this tour is because it's been so long, there's going to be a lot of people out there that
Yeah.
we want to see, that we want to meet in person. So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's great. All right, listeners,
Okay.
go talk to your doctor, get vaccinated, get boosted. Let's all be kind to each other because that's how we're going to get through this. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jewel. Thank you,
Yeah.
listeners.
Yeah. Get your vaccine. Get your vaccine. I agree totally 100%. Get back.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. And we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Doing a podcast at times can be a one-way conversation, and I hate that. So please let me know what you like and don't like about the work I'm doing. You can reach the podcast via email at setlistingbruce@gmail.com. The show is on Twitter at setlistingbruce, and my personal Twitter is at jessejacksondfw. You can support the podcast by subscribing via your favorite podcast player and leaving us a review. The more reviews we have, the easier it is for people to find us. And please tell a friend about the podcast, especially if they love Bruce or music, because it will make a difference. You just heard the fun talking, hard rocking, music loving, album ranking, fan thinking, joy spreading, lyric reading, story sharing podcast that is the one, the only, Set Listing Bruce. The theme for Set Listing Bruce was written by David Rosen, used by permission.